Hi, I'm Mary Jane Brixa from Lioness Publications, and we put out a video on Kamala Harris. That was part one. We're going to look at part two today. In part two, in this case, we don't look at the actual astrological angles. What we look at is what I call risk yield and a delta core transit charts. Now, these charts are proprietary. They're charts I've been working on in the software I've been working on for about 30 years. And I finalized it about 10 years ago. I still do minor tweaks, but the software works great in identifying potentials. So let's just jump right into it because I don't want to make this video too long. So let's take a look at this one up here. And by the way, this is my book, USA 2024 Presidential Candidates, the Astrological Probability Analysis. It's available on Amazon, and it is pretty detailed. And it has great color charts. So let's take a look at this. This is her risk yield, and this is for 2024. If we look, we can see there's a lot of activity. So she was probably doing something that year. Even though she wasn't running for president, she was a VP during a portion of this. So we can see that he's got a lot of red. That's the nice thing about these color charts. You can see easily the risk and the yield. In this case, we have a really heavy downward spiral here around 515. And this may not have necessarily been to do with Harris herself. It could have been that in her position of the VP, she was seeing what was happening to Biden, and maybe he had some type of episode around this time. Now, let's take a look at some of these other pieces, but now let's move down to the delta. The delta literally takes the risk yield, gets the difference, and provides that. So this allows us to see where the actual trend lines are. Are they positive? Are they negative? Are they moving up? Are they moving down? Momentum is important. So in this case, we see momentum from going down, going up. Now, this is after what could have been an incident with Biden, and I noted that in his chart, and that's in one of the previous videos. Now, important to note here is that right around the middle of August is when she starts getting a momentum move. This is important because that's about the time that the convention was. And that sparked a lot of interest. So we can see this come up pretty high, but it still doesn't come up over the zero line, which means there's still more negative or challenging type of factors involved here. We can see we get to the point of around 11.1, and then we see it going downwards. And it's a momentum move downwards. So what that means is that it wasn't just, positive factors going away. It was the negative factors coming into play again. Now, this doesn't say why she was losing voters, and we'll talk about that probably in another video. I'll take a look at the actual 2024 election from the perspective of the United States chart, and that'll give us a lot more information. Maybe some of it we won't like. Now, because of this, and when she became the candidate, I started saying, need to do a little bit more work on her, sort of get a little bit better idea of what angles are involved. And some of the angles I said, this could actually be positive. So I actually redid some of my algorithm to take that into account. And I actually posted it in the appendix in this book. So we can see here, we still have the same type of risk yield. We still have a lot of activity here. But now let's take a look at our delta. When I did the revised algorithm, and by the way, I only use this for Harris because of one of her angles. We can see that now this is coming up over the zero, right around the election period. So that's a good sign because that's saying, okay, we've got some positive factors coming in that's sort of pulling this whole thing up. But we still come down. So right around the 11:15 period, we're coming down. Now, if I tighten up these angles a bit and, in effect, produce new charts, I can get a little bit better idea of exactly what's happening. So if I come over here, what I can see is that her positive factors start going away right around 11-1. So in effect, no new voters were coming in, or let's just say maybe polling wasn't showing new voters. So some of this, again, could be something that needs more investigation. Now, we also see a lot of transit coming in. That's negative. But let's come down to this, which is the delta. And this is both tight and revised. So we can see that she actually probably peaked around 10-1 with her positive factors. And then she slowly started coming down. So we can see here that, at 11-1, she lost some. 11-15, she had another drop. Now, this drop is both the transient and the core. And as I said, we'll go into another video at some point and we'll look at the 2024 election. But what I want to show you from these is that this is a good way, even if you don't know the astrology, to be able to identify what's happening with a candidate. And let's just go back to her delta core here and her risk scale. So again, she had a lot of negatives to sort of triumph over. And she did. She pretty much triumphed over them, and she got to the point that she was doing well. Now, what we'll do is at some point, we'll do the same thing for Trump. Short video, hopefully, and it'll identify some of the things that were involved with Trump from both the astrology and from the charts, because the charts are just easier for people to read. Now, I do have detailed information. So in this case, I have her astrological chart along with descriptions. Other than that, have a great day. And thank you for watching. Bye now.